Welcome back to All Things with Allah. Today we are in the kitchen making korejska morkva. If you translate it, it's Korean carrot salad. This is one of our favorite in our house, and I'm really excited to share the recipe with you guys. So there's a little bit of cooking, but a lot of it is just prep work and combining stuff together, but it's so good. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and we can get started.
Okay, first thing is first, we are going to peel some carrots. Roughly about 20 medium-sized carrots. You want to make sure they're good quality, if possible organic. If not, just make sure they are fresh. If the carrots are good, nice and fresh and crispy, then your salad is going to come out amazing. So just make sure you have good quality carrots. Once it is shredded, we're going to have 15 cups. So you'll see that, but I'm estimating it's about 20 carrots, medium size. I ended up doing more just because I needed it for another recipe, but I'm assuming it's about 20 medium-sized carrots. So let's get these nice and clean and ready for our shredder. Now comes the fun part, the shredding. It is very time consuming and it can be very painful, so be very careful with it. I always cut the edges off and I cut the carrot in half, and that's about the length I go. Again, you have to be very careful. I will link in my YouTube channel in the description the links for Amazon on where you can order the shredders. There's a few different ones. I have this one. I'm not a big fan of it. I'm going to actually put a star next to the one I'm ordering that I was highly recommended. And that one I think is much better. This one is one of those things where it will have to do. Again, this is very time consuming and you just have to go slow and steady if you have this particular one, but that's just how it goes. It's a good salad, it's worth it, but you gotta go slow. So let's shred these carrots and then we'll go to the next part. And when I say time consuming, I mean time consuming. This took me a good half hour, but it's so worth it. Like I said, really, really good. So now that we have our carrots shredded, we are going to put some salt on top. So you're going to get a measurements for tablespoons. We're going to do a tablespoon and then a half. And the salt that I use is called real salt. I'll put a link in my description as well for that. Highly recommend that salt, really good. So you're just going to sprinkle it on top of your carrot, and then we're just going to get another one, half. So a tablespoon and a half of salt right on top, just like that. And then we're actually going to cover this up and let it mix it a little bit, obviously. Let that go in between, and then we're going to cover it up and let it sit for 10 to 20 minutes, even a half an hour. But you just want to get that salt nice and incorporated in there so that all the juices, the carrot juices, will come out. The salt's going to help with the juices to come out. So that's kind of the plan, why you want it to sit, why you want to incorporate the salt in there. So just press it down once you have the salt incorporated in there, and we're just going to leave it, let it sit for about, like I said, about 20 minutes. Even a half an hour is fine, but you definitely want to make it longer than shorter, if that makes any sense. So a good 20 minutes. Let's just say that's what we're going to plan. Okay, so while these are sitting here, we're going to work on our coriander. So I found coriander seeds, and I've seen smaller and I've seen powder, but I couldn't find it, so I had to get these, and I'm just going to put them in my Ninja and pulse them and make them into a powder, just because the seeds are too big. And they sell smaller ones. I found them on Amazon, but I didn't have time. But I will put the link in the description on what size they're supposed to do, but what size they're supposed to be. But if you can't find them, just do this. It's no big deal. You can just make your own powder. It's all the same, tastes just as good. So that's kind of how I made my coriander powder. So now that this has been sitting for a while, we are going to juice our carrots. And you're just squeezing all the juice out. Just squeeze, squeeze, squeeze as much as you can. Doesn't have to be completely dry, but as much as you can. You're going to put the juice to the side because we will need that. We're going to spread this out. And in here, we are going to put 7 garlic. Whoops. All right, back in there you go. 7 garlic cubes or cloves. That's the word, cloves. Now our coriander is going to go in there as well. It is a half a tablespoon. So a nice half a tablespoon right on top of that. And then we are also going to do paprika. And this is also going to be a half a tablespoon of paprika right on top of that. We're not mixing this quite yet. We're just going to sprinkle all that on top and put it to the side. Now comes the interesting part. We are making flavored oil. So here I have a half a cup of avocado oil. And in there, we are going to bring it hot, make it hot. And in there, we're going to add 1 medium sweet onion and just saute it just like that. This actually took about 15 minutes, you guys, because avocado oil doesn't burn as fast as any other oil, so it does take a little longer. And then we're just going to take that hot oil and drain it right over our carrots. The onion's not going in there. The onion it was just for flavor. You can use the onion in a different recipe or not. It's up to you. We're going to cover this up. This is going to sit for about 10-15 minutes. While it is sitting, we're going to be making the juice part that goes inside. So we're going to drain our carrots juice here into another little bowl. Make sure you get all of it out. And then to that, we're going to add some vinegar. So we have 1/3 cup of just regular old vinegar in there. I'm just going to dump it right inside our 1/3 cup. There we go. Right in there. And then we are going to add soy sauce. And this is going to be 2 tablespoons of soy sauce right into our carrot juice and vinegar there. And then we're going to do 2 hefty large spoons of sugar. So we're going to, and I mean hefty, meaning like it goes over and you're fine. So there you go. All the sugar is inside and we're going to mix it really, really good. Make sure that it's incorporated as much as possible. I'm going to transfer my carrots into a bigger bowl so it's easier for me to mix it. So transfer all of it in there, mix it a little bit with my hands, and then pour our juice right over that. Now, I do recommend for you to use your hands. You can put gloves on if you're not a big fan of touching food with your hands. But obviously, I did dishes all day, so my hands are super clean, and I just find it way easier to mix everything with your hands than a spoon. The spoon just doesn't do what it needs to be done. So we're just going to mix this up really, really good. Takes a little bit of time, but you just want to make sure everything is in there right quite well. So now we're going to put parsley and ground pepper. I did about a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of parsley, depends on your taste, and then a half a tablespoon of pepper. Now we're going to transfer this to another bowl. We're going to cover this up with the saran wrap, press and seal. Press and seal. I love press and seal. And we're going to put a lid on top. Why I'm doing this is because you want to put this in the refrigerator overnight, at least 10 hours. It's edible. It's not like it's not edible, but it's better when it sits overnight. And the way I put it in the refrigerator is I turn it upside down so all the juices go through the bottom, through the top, and things like that. And once you serve it, you just flip it, and then it's all nice and juicy carrot on the top instead of like it being all dry. So this is the next day, you guys. It is delicious. I really hope you make this. I hope you enjoy it. And thanks, and have a blessed day. Till next time.